Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Behind me, I've got beef broth going, and in front of me, I've got a contest starting with pickled eggs. So with doing the taste test, I wanna see which tastes better. Is it the pickled eggs with apple cider vinegar, or is it the pickled eggs with white wine vinegar? Other than that, I'm making them the completely same way. So in a few weeks from now, I will be doing a taste test and we'll see what works. So I just wanted to show you what I'm putting in and how I'm making the pickled eggs right now. My helpers wanted to tell you that they helped peel all of these eggs. Now, the thing that I have in here is I've got raw Walla Walla onions. Now, I love onions, and I think everyone should. And I've got a little bit of a sprig, maybe about 3 inches of rosemary. I've got a small handful of sage, and that's all that's going into each one of them. All of my sage and rosemary is at the bottom here. And I've got a couple of onions up top because I just couldn't quite fit into them. So one of these jars is gonna be white wine vinegar. Actually, I've got my apple cider vinegar. So the way I do it is I always use another jar that's similar to the size, because I'm very bad with like figuring out how much I need and brine and whatever. So this is kind of my cheat for it. So I'm gonna fill this up to a little bit more because I wanna fill this up right up to about a 1/4 inch headspace. And then I'm gonna be water bath canning them as well. And then this guy, I'm gonna be putting white wine vinegar. I actually like white wine vinegar. So I'm hoping it's gonna taste a little bit better, but we'll see. The ingredients is exact same. You can see a piece of Walla Walla onion down there, sage and rosemary. So I'm gonna grab the other jar that I have here. I did have it filled, but I didn't have anywhere near, like the eggs only came up to here. So that's why I had to transfer them down to the bottom. We had a lot more eggs that weren't the best. And even like a lot of these aren't the greatest, but I don't wanna waste it, and it is what it is. Some of them have completely fallen apart, but I think it's gonna be okay still. And I'm just gonna add, I wanna say, with the apple cider vinegar, the rest is gonna be water and just under a 1/4 cup of sugar. I want these to be a little bit on the sweeter side, and we'll see. Maybe this works, maybe this doesn't, and I wanna completely change it, but I love pickled eggs, and there's so many different things that you can do with them. I've done carrots, I've done radishes, I've done beets, basically like any kind of like harder root vegetable that you want to put in here. The one thing I haven't tried that I want to try is actually leeks. It's been a few weeks since I made these amazing, amazing pickled eggs. And I completely forgot to do a taste side by side. We've just been plowing through these pickled eggs. So I'm gonna do one right now as we're watching the World Championships for bobsledding. I've tried them both and they are both equally delicious. These are what the pickled eggs look like. And this one, I had a couple of the yolks kind of pop open and get mixed with the brine, and that's okay, and they're falling apart, but they're delicious. Oh, actually, that one looks like it's been eaten by my kid. One of my kids just loves anything pickled. All right, so this is the problem that I'm having. So I think it's just because the eggs they weren't fresh, because all of the yolks kind of ended up like this, where normally when you boil eggs, the yolks are in the middle and they're surrounded by the whites. And basically all of the yolks ended up being the same once I boiled them. So I don't know what's going on with this batch, but you can see this kind of meshed a lot with the yolk, more than this one, but that's okay. They still taste great. So good. Now the only thing is, with having that much rosemary in the jar, I thought it would have been more of a stronger flavor. It actually isn't. It's very, very subtle, which I'm actually very surprised because I thought I almost put too much rosemary, but I figured, I'm committed. I might as well throw the whole thing in there. And it doesn't overpower it at all. Like, it's very, very subtle, which is very nice. And this one ended up being a lot sweeter. Whereas the other one, the egg is considerably more firmer when you bite it. And also when you hold it like with your fingers, like it's a lot stiffer of an egg. I'm kind of disappointed, and I really wanted like a strong kind of rosemary flavored pickled egg. I don't know, it's kind of strange. Everyone is kind of weirded out by pickled eggs, but honestly, I was really turned off going to school by pickled eggs, and I went to school in Michigan. There's a group of people from APO, Alpha Phi Omega, at Michigan Tech, and they always brought down pickled eggs with them, and I was so turned off. I was like, oh, pickled eggs and brine. And I so regret not trying them back then because I just feel like I've been missing out my whole life on pickled eggs, and now that I've discovered them, I'm just so excited about trying different recipes and combinations of pickled egg. Make it a point in your life to try and make some pickled eggs. I personally don't like the ones at the store because they're all white vinegar, and I just find it's way too much vinegar for me. But try it with different vinegars: apple cider vinegar, red wine, white wine vinegar. Throw a bunch of stuff in. You can try and make pickled eggs only using 2 or 3 hard-boiled eggs, which just use the little jar. It doesn't hurt. It's a great experiment. You get to have fun in the kitchen and try different things. But I highly recommend trying pickled eggs at least once in your life. So that's all for today, for today's episode. I hope you got something out of this episode. I can't wait for you guys to come back and see me again. And until next time, have fun in the kitchen.